Hey guys, and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to talk about Algebra 5. Now, let's take a look at the questions. Down. In Algebra 5, we're going to talk about expanding two or more linear expressions and factorizing quadratic expressions when we have an expression like that. And then solving quadratic equations by factorizing and solving problems involving quadratic equations. First, we're going to talk about multiplying brackets. When we have two linear brackets, what do we do? Two linear brackets means like this, two brackets next to each other. Now, we're supposed to multiply them, expand them, and then simplify them. Let's take a look at some questions here. Now, sometimes they use the rule first, outside, inside, last. So, and then you multiply by two, or some people use that rule. It's the same idea. So let's take a look at some questions and then we get the idea. Expand and simplify these brackets. Let's take one of them. Simple ones first, and then we'll take one of the hard ones, okay? So first, let's cover this here. Now, when we expand brackets, we're going to multiply the elements inside the brackets by each other. It means the first one will be multiplied by the first one here, and then the second one. And then we take the second one in the first bracket, and the same idea multiplied by the first one, and then multiplied by the second one, and then we simplify. So x times x is going to be x power of 2. Let's make it bigger. So x power of 2, or x squared. And then x times 1 is going to be positive x or positive 1x. And then we take the 4 multiplied by the x is going to be positive 4x. And then the 4 multiplied by the 1 is going to be positive 4. So focus on multiplying. When you have two brackets like this, you'll end up having 4 elements, and then you look at the elements. If they have the same variables like this and this, you have to simplify them. So x plus 4x is going to be 5x, positive 5x. Focus on the signs because they are very important. And then the x squared will be the same. So x power of 2 squared. Let's put here x power of 2. And then the 4 will be the same, so plus 4. And this is how you expand and simplify brackets. So focus on the steps of expanding and then simplifying. Now let's take a look at a question that might have more ideas to it. For example, question 10 here. In question 10, same idea, I'm going to expand and simplify. So I'm going to take the first one, multiply it by the first one here, and then the second one. Same idea with the second one in the first bracket. So multiply by the first one and the second one. So x squared times x is going to be x power of 3. So x power of 3. And then x squared times 2 is going to be plus 2x power of 2. And then negative 5 times x is going to be negative 5x, negative 5x. And then negative 5 times plus 2 is going to be negative 10, negative 10. Now, when you look at these elements, you'll find that there's no two elements which are like terms. So there are no like terms. It means when you simplify, you can't simplify these together because they have different powers. And this is the final answer for this double bracket expanding. Now let's move on to the next question. Here. A rectangle with length x plus 2 and width x plus 1 has a square of length x centimeters cut out of it. Find and simplify an expression for the area of the original rectangle. So first, to find the area of the original rectangle, you're going to multiply this by this and make an expression. So let's do it here. Okay. So first, let's do this. So x plus 2 times x plus 1. Let's do it here. So x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 1. brackets x plus 1. Now let's expand this. I'll make it smaller a little bit so I can have space. Yes. Now I'm going to expand this using the same steps that I did before. So when we expand, we're going to multiply this first element by the first, and then by the second. So first by first, and then by second. And then same idea with the second element. I'm going to multiply the 2 here by the x, and then by the 1. That's how you do expanding. So first x times x is going to be x power of 2, or x squared. And then x times 1 is going to be positive 1x, or positive x, same idea. And then 2 times x is going to be positive 2x. And then 2 times 1 is going to be positive 2. Now, we look at the elements that we have. We look for like terms. Which terms are the same, or they have the same variables? These terms, they have the same variables, which is the x. Now we can add them or subtract them depending on their signs. So they will be 1 plus 2, it's going to be 3x. So the final answer will be x power of 2, or x squared, plus 3x plus 2. So this one is going to be 3x, and this one is 2, the same. And the final expression for the area of the rectangle is this one. Now, the next question says, now find an expression for the shaded area. Find an expression for the shaded area. Find an expression for the area of the original rectangle. We did it. Now find an expression for the shaded area. Now, the shaded area is this one. We have to subtract the area of the square, which is x times x, from the area of the rectangle. So the square is x squared. So the area of the square is x squared, or x power of 2, like this. Now, this, which is the rectangle, minus this, which is the square, will give me the shaded area. So I'm going to write it here. So x power of 2 plus 3x plus 2. So x power of 2 plus 3x plus 2 minus x squared. Because when you subtract them, you get the shaded area. So minus x squared. Now, when you simplify, you'll find out that these two have the same variable with different signs. It means they will eliminate each other. So x squared minus x squared is going to be 0. And the answer is 3x plus 2. So the final answer is 3x plus 2. This is the shaded area, or the expression for the shaded area. Now, find x if the shaded area is 11 centimeters squared. Let's say this one is 11 centimeters squared. It means you're going to say it equals to 11. Now we take the 2 to the other side by subtraction. So 3x equals 11 minus 2. So 3x will equal 9. Now we need to find x. So we're going to divide by 3. So 3x equals 9. When you divide by 3, you can do it both sides, or take the 3 by dividing, same step. So here I'm going to take the 3 by dividing. So x will equal 9 divided 3. So x will equal 3. So at the end, I found x, which is equal to 3 by using the expressions that I made. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now let's move on to the next question. Here you have the same idea. You have a volume, same idea. A concrete block, let's do it here, is in the shape of a cuboid with length. These are the lengths, 1, 2, 3. Now the question is find and simplify an expression for the volume of the block. So you need to make an expression for the volume of the block. Now let's cover this so we can work here. So the volume will be multiplying this by this by this. So let's write it here. So x, let's make it in brackets, x plus 3, and then multiplied by x plus 2, bracket, and then multiplied by 5. You can put the 5 in brackets like this. That's okay. Or you can put it without brackets like this. It's already going to be multiplied. Now, we can multiply these and then multiply the whole thing by 5, like this, because there's no addition sign. So the 5 could be multiplied by all of them. Let's put the 5 by brackets, so all of them will be multiplied by 5, like this. Or we can expand the 5 in one of the brackets and continue with answering the question. So let's expand the 5 with the second bracket, and then we will simplify the rest, okay? So it's going to be like this, x plus 3, and then we multiply the 5 here, so it's going to be 5x plus 2 times 5 is going to be 10, and then we close the bracket like this. And then, look, yes, and then we do the expanding part of these two brackets. We're going to do the expanding part of these two brackets using the expanding steps. So let's do this. So the first one will be multiplied by the first one, like this. Let me take a look here, and then multiplied by the second one. Same idea with the 3. It's going to be multiplied by the first one. Let's use blue. So 3 is going to be multiplied by the first one and by the second one, like this. So here, x times 5x is going to be 5x power of 2. So 5x power of 2 here. Let's do the power of 2 here. So 5x power of 2. And then after doing this, the x will be multiplied by the 10, which is 10x. So plus 10x. And then the 3 will be multiplied by the 5x. It's going to be plus 15x. And then 10 multiplied 3 is going to be 30. Now, we look at the like terms and check which ones are the same so we can simplify them with each other. So let's start with this one here. Let's see. 5x, 15x and 10x together, they are like terms, so we're gonna simplify them by each other. Let's see. These are like terms, so it means we can add them together. So 5x power of 2, 5x power of 2, and then here plus 10 plus 15 is going to be plus 25x, and then plus 30. And this is the final expression for the volume of the cuboid. So this is the expression of the volume. Now let's continue the questions. Now, this is the expression for the volume of the block. Now, find and simplify an expression for the surface area of the block. The surface area, it means we're going to take each two, multiply them by each other, and then multiply them by 2. And then at the end, we're going to add them all together. So we have this times 2, this times this times 2, this times this times 2, and all of them will be added together. So I'll do it in one time like this. I'm going to use the whole space. So first two, I'm going to use the x plus 3 and this one. So I'm going to say x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 2 bracket and then multiplied by 2. And all of this will be multiplied by 2. Now, to multiply by 2, I'm going to multiply these and then multiply them all by 2, okay? So I'll finish then and multiply by 2. And then this one is plus x plus 2 multiplied by 5. So it's going to be like this, 5 multiplied by x plus 2 bracket, and then plus this one, x plus 3 multiplied by 5, so it means 5 multiplied by x plus 3. And as I said, I'm going to do it in one step like this. This means we multiply this by this, plus this by this, plus this by this. And at the end, I'm going to multiply it by 2. Multiply it by 2. So let's do this first. X times x is going to be x power of 2. So follow me with the steps. They are so important. These are the expanding steps of two brackets, the first one and second one, and then first one, second one. Same steps. And then 3 times x is going to be 3x, so plus 3x. And then 2 times x is plus 2x, and then 2 times 3 is plus 6. Okay, we need all the space, so Yes, we need all the space, so make sure that you don't use a lot of space. Now, let's come to this one. So 5 times x is going to be plus 5x. 5 times 2 is going to be plus 10. And then 5 times x plus 5x. And then 5 times 3 is plus 15. Now, I multiplied or expanded all the parts. Now I'm going to simplify. Simplifying, it means taking the like terms. Like terms, we have positive 3x, positive 2x, positive 5x, and positive 5x. These are like terms. And the other like terms are the numbers. We have 6 plus 10 plus 15. Okay. Now, yes, plus 15 plus 10. And this one is what? Plus 6. Yes. Now, we're going to simplify these like terms, and this x squared will be the same. So x squared, like this, x power of 2. And these 3x plus 2x is 5x plus 5x plus 5x is going to be 15. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. So plus 15x. And then here we have 6 because 3 times 2 is 6. So 6 plus 10, 16, plus 15 is going to be 31, right? So 15 and 25, 30, 31, 31 plus 31. Okay. Now, this is the expression of multiplying only the sides by each other. Now we come to the multiplying of 2, because I said I'm going to multiply 2 at the end. So I'm going to put it in brackets like this and multiply it by 2, all of it, like this, multiply 2. Now, when I multiply 2, the answer will be 2x squared, like this, 2x squared, plus 30x plus 62, plus 62. And this is the final answer of this expression. So the answer is like this, okay? Now, this is the expression of what? This is the expression of the surface area of the block. Surface area of the block. So focus on the steps. Sometimes we have mistakes. So we have to check, go back and check with our answer. Even this one, I can do these and then at the end multiply them by 5. It will give me the same answer. So this one will be x squared. 3 times 2 is going to be 6. And I'm sorry, 3x and 3x and 2x is going to be 5x. So x squared plus 5x plus 6. When you multiply it by 5, it's going to be 5x squared plus 25x plus 30. So it's going to be the same idea and the same answer that you got from the beginning. So here, same idea. So the 3 will be multiplied by the 2. Here, they're going to be 5x, and 5 and 5 is going to be 15x. 3 times 2 is going to be 6. So this one is 6. And these are 10 and 15. So together they're going to be 31. When you multiply by 2, it's going to be 62. And this is the answer for question 12. Now, the other questions, they have the same idea. They will tell you find this and find that. The same idea. These two pictures have the same area. So you're supposed to say that x squared equals x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 2. So how do you find that? So you do it as an expression like this. This one is x squared. So you say x squared because they have the same idea, area. X squared will equal to what? Will equal to these multiplied by each other. So x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 2, like this. And then you do the expanding part of these brackets. You do the same expanding parts. And then you find the value of x like this. So here, x squared or x power of 2, like this, will equal, this one will be x squared, same idea, x times x squared, of x power of 2. And then x times negative 2 is going to be negative 2x. And then x times this, x times this. 3 times x is going to be plus 3x. And then 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Now you continue with the answer. So you will take the x squared. Uh, yes, let's take the x squared to this side. So x squared minus x squared will equal to. So this one is x power of 2 minus x power of 2, like this. Took this x power 2 to the side, so we made it negative. And then we have negative 2x plus 3x is going to be x, and then minus. Okay. Now x squared minus x squared will be 0. So both of these will be 0. They will be eliminated. Now we take the 6 to the other side to make it positive. So the 6 will come to this side. So at the end, x will equal 6. X will equal 6. And this is how you find the value of x using these expressions. So at the end, x equals 6, and this is the answer of question 13. Now let's move on to the next question. Oh, okay. So these are the ideas of these questions. They're easy, follow. Now here, same idea. You can do that. Now this one has the same idea. You just have to put two brackets next to each other. So this one will be x, like this, two brackets, like this, x plus 12. And then the second bracket, same idea, x plus 12. This is the meaning of power of 2 or squared. It means the same brackets multiplied by each other. Okay. And then you do the same steps and follow the same steps. Okay. Here, let's take some complicated ones. This one, question 10, we will try to do it.